Welcome back here on your Wednesday afternoon edition of TSL today. Giovanni Heater across the way. It's Kyle Marchak, Carter Hill behind the scenes today. Well, it's game day in Blacksburg, Marchak. We already touched on the men's side of things. Let's flip the script as the women's basketball team opens up ACC play on the road in Chestnut Hill against the Boston College Eagles. 6 o'clock tip-off on the ACC network. So if you're a Tech fan, again, just like last week, you can watch the women play and then you can watch the men play directly afterwards. So nothing better than that. This is a homecoming game for Taylor Soule, which is fantastic. Boston College product, decided to transfer to Virginia Tech, and she has been absolutely huge. A Wooden Award watch list contributor this year, Cheryl Miller Award watch list, preseason All ACC. So awesome to see her on Virginia Tech. She played a lot of good minutes at Boston College, was a huge contributor there, and now she's got a little bit of a homecoming coming up.
Yeah, it's the thing. The ACC are, some of the biggest conferences, and like once the transfer portal opens up, you see ACC players go to other ACC schools. Like last year, just a random name that pops in my head, a big pickup in the ACC transfer portal was from Syracuse to Georgia. Well, everyone left from Syracuse a couple years ago.
Yeah.
From Syracuse to Georgia Tech, Digna Stratmain was a big forward pickup that went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So that's just a random
and
example.
Emily Angsler went from Syracuse to Louisville.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Cameron Swartz, who was at BC last year, went to Georgia Tech. So there were two top leading scorers left BC.
There you go.
Cameron Swartz, yes.
He's Carter, very smart guy.
Great producer.
Yep, absolutely. So Taylor Soule, competed in the past 4 seasons at Boston College. She recorded 1,500 points, earned all ACC honors in each of the past 3 years, including a second team nod in 21-22 after averaging 16 points and 5.5 rebounds in 32 minutes of action per contest for the Eagles that season. Just last year, Soule led BC to a 21-12 record, 10-8 in the ACC. They reached the round of 16 in the women's NIT tournament. She scored in double figures in 30 games last season, posted 20 points or more 9 times, and dropped a career-high 33 points in a penultimate game of the season versus Quinnipiac. Boston College means a lot to her, and she's verbalized that. It was hard for her to leave, but wanted to take that final year of eligibility and go to a true contender. And she is really meshed incredibly well with this women's basketball team. One of the leading scorers first and foremost, but let the stats go to the side. I don't think anyone on the floor was more excited to see Amor score a triple-double than Taylor Soule, who hasn't been there the last 3-4 years. But she's that ingrained into the culture already of this Kenny Brooks program.
I guarantee if you ask Coach Kenny Brooks, and I guarantee this conversation's already been made before, the team culture for such a talented squad, number 7 in the nation, is unbelievable. Like, they really do have all the makings of a team that can make a run and put Virginia Tech in the rafters of Castle Coliseum for the rest of existence with an NCAA championship. They really have that. And like you said, with that example of Taylor Soule on Amor's triple-double, that is a true example of leadership right there. A girl who's more excited for her teammate than herself or anyone else's performance, and she's only been there for now 9 games, that is. So, well, before that, but
Absolutely.
So it's pretty cool.
Tech is 5th in the country, tied for 5th with Stanford for scoring margin, which is absolutely unreal. They're blowing everyone out of the water. The scoring margin is 32. So plain and simple, they're dominating. And it was more than that before a closer game against Tennessee on Sunday just a couple of days ago. So, plain and simple, Virginia Tech is the better team on paper. There's really not a whole lot to talk about here. Boston College, 7-3 on the season. Virginia Tech, according to Vegas, is 20.5 point favorites, so 20.5. There's not much to say.
No.
Tech is the best team. They got to go out and win in dominant fashion. By the way, women's basketball ranked highest in program history, 7th in the country. And that can only get better if they keep winning.
Yeah, no. So, Boston College, 7-3, not a terrible team, but the levels are evident. The discrepancy between top 10 teams in women's basketball and the rest of the country are always, a pretty large margin. And Boston College, not ranked, but a winning squad. They've had decent competition so far this year. But yeah, like I said, the discrepancy is definitely there. My 2 points: one, BC also does not take care of the ball, 0.7 assist to turnover ratio. So that's going to be something that the Hokies will take advantage of. And two, you can't just brush this game under the rug because Virginia Tech is coming off of a close game at Tennessee, a Tennessee squad that has actually struggled this year, surprisingly enough. And then they're continuing this road trip. Like now they're up in Chestnut Hill. So they went from Rocky Top out to Chestnut Hill in a matter of days. You know, that could be one of those games where the Hokies look back at it and they wish they could have gotten one back against Boston College because they're beat up from a road trip and they're facing a decent team in Boston College. But again, odds of that occurring are pretty low.
Girl to look out for Boston College has to be Dontavia Wagner. 12.9 points a game, 7.1 rebounds a game, an assist, 3 steals a game. So shooting the ball 42% from the field. Does not take a lot of three-pointers, though, but she's definitely that girl to watch for Boston College. They got some good talent. JoJo Lacey has been impressive. Maria Gacton has been impressive. So they certainly have some girls to watch on this team. But, again, Virginia Tech just seems to be the better squad. Eagles averaging 69 points per game, 39 rebounds. Again, Virginia Tech averaging a lot more. Virginia Tech on the other side, averaging. Let's look at the exact number. Actually, to be exact, Virginia Tech is currently averaging 80 points per game. So there you go. Big margin there. A whole 12 points, and that goes back to that scoring margin. Tech is the better team. I think Kitley gets out of a little bit of a funk that she had and against Tennessee. 2 years against Tennessee, it just wasn't a great matchup for her. But everyone else on the floor can contribute. Tech's still going to be without Ashley Owusu. And one stat that really jumped out to me that I thought was interesting, Virginia Tech is amongst 3 teams in the country that had 3 Wooden Award preseason watch list players. It was Liz Kitley, Ashley Owusu, and Taylor Soule were the 3 of them. And the only other 2 schools in the country that had that, South Carolina, who's the defending national champions, and Tennessee, who is one of the blue blood programs of the sport. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah, that's a really cool stat that you pulled up there because those are 2 really, really, really successful programs that you want to be in the same conversation as, and they are in all the right ways. So I think that really speaks for itself. It'll be really cool. You know, again, the discrepancy of talent on these rosters is evident. And just, you know, my final note for this game too, this could be a game where you're kind of looking at accolades or maybe single game performances again to reflect upon. My guess is maybe Kiana Traylor, because Owusu's not there, steps up alongside Amore to do her thing again. She led the way against Tennessee. And then this is a small Boston College squad. The tallest girl they actually put on the court, because they do have a 6'5", but she's a true freshman, does not get minutes. I think the tallest girl they put on the court is only 6'3". Liz Kitley's 6'6", one of the strongest centers in the country, if not the strongest. So I think this should be a game where you look for Liz Kitley to put up a big single game performance as well.
Conti Forum in Chestnut Hill, the site of tonight's women's basketball matchup. 7th-ranked Hokies on the road against BC. 6 p.m. tip-off on the ACC network. And then again, a reminder, the men tip-off at 8 o'clock on the ACC network against Dayton. So it's all Hokies on the ACC network this evening. Thanks so much for joining us on your afternoon ride home. For Kyle Marchak and Carter Hill, I'm Giovanni Heater saying so long. We'll see you on Friday.